Now, I can only imagine how big of a deal this is, but can you walk us through any of your thoughts and emotions when you do get the confirmation that you are getting the ball for opening day?
I just really saw it as like a total blessing, especially the way things have like been for me in the past. I haven't had an opening day start since 2018, so to really kind of get the ball and be that guy, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it just feels like just a big blessing in my life.
Now, I saw the other day that you and Dane Dunning have added a sweeper to your pitching repertoire. Can you kind of explain the sweeper and how it comes about and how it's different from other pitches?
Yeah, it's different than my normal slider, but it's somewhat similar too. It has a lot more of a horizontal movement pattern on it. So I think I'll be able to, if I use it right, I'll be able to limit the amount of foul balls that are hit and really get that sucker on and off the plate quick. So I think it's going to help with the swing and misses.
So, John, I'm a former pitcher and never pitched in Colorado as in pitching for the Rockies. But just pitching on other big league teams, especially in the National League, when you'd go to Colorado, the staff would get nervous because your pitching coach would start talking about your breaking ball and you're going to have to change your sights. You're not going to be able to maybe, let's say you were throwing a big breaking ball and you were throwing it at, I'm a lefty, throwing it at like the lefty hitter's shoulder where you know it's going to break a certain spot, or throwing it at the belt to make sure it stays below the zone. Can you talk about in your career pitching for Colorado, then going on the road, how different it is, especially with whether it's a sweeper, a slider, a curveball, the difference in where your sights are when you're pitching in Colorado versus maybe going to LA and pitching against the Dodgers, or San Diego and pitching against the Padres?
Yeah, it's totally different. You know, I kind of learned from experience, but it's something you can't really just say it's not going to be any different. You know, it is, and but it's something that you can gain control of. Like I had two different repertoires, really. I had a home arsenal and a road arsenal for the most part. I didn't use my curveball very much at home because I felt like it was really strike to a strike pitch. It really didn't fool anyone. But there were times to use it too. But I would stay pretty much heavy fastball, heavy slider at home. And on the road, I would mix in some changeups and some curveballs. But yeah, it did play different. My fastball played different on the road than home. It was a lot easier to keep it straight in Colorado, and on the road I had a random sinker out of my four seam. But yeah, it's different, but you learn how to use it over time, and you can kind of make it. You can kind of apply it to the game and make it work for you.
Obviously, Colorado is probably the most well-known in terms of this, but do you get a sense for how long it takes to figure out a scouting report on a stadium? Because you're coming into a ball club that, I mean, this stadium is obviously still fairly new. How long does it usually take for the league or for pitchers to get a feel for a new park?
It can take a while. I mean, it definitely doesn't feel natural the first couple of times, but if you're really good at just picking what works and what doesn't and sticking with it, then there shouldn't be any issues. But yeah, it is different, and like for me, it was different on the road and home. But I found ways to make each one work.
Got Rangers opening day starter Jon Gray joining us here on the K&C Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan. How good did it feel to tell the Yankees to shove it? I'm going to go to Oklahoma and play there instead.
It felt pretty good. Yeah, it felt pretty good, and yeah, I mean, not to. I don't want to knock him or anything, but yeah, it's not. It's probably been the last place on my list that I'd want to go, for sure.
Are you serious? This is great to hear as a Rangers fan. Like this is.
We hate the Yankees. Yeah. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. Not about it.
Nice. I really like that a lot, man. All right. So when I was a kid, my dad had a wooden Carlton Fisk bat. And so I saw the Carlton Fisk moment, and I would go out in the backyard. I'd swing the bat and act like I was Carlton Fisk and everything. And that was kind of in my mind. I was who were you as a kid? Who did you want to be? What player did you want to become? And has that changed over time?
I mean, it kind of has. But I remember when my brother and I would be playing in the backyard, we were always Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan, and I was always Randy Johnson, but I wasn't left-handed. But I still tried to mimic everything he did, and they went with everything else too: football, basketball. I mean, we always had those key guys in mind that we wanted to kind of, I don't know, portray ourselves as. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it created a lot of imagination, and it was good.
If you were Randy Johnson or pretending to be him in the backyard, were you ever afraid that one of your pitches would make a bird explode?
I was hoping so, but I never tried.
It's not like he was throwing in the trees. Birds belong in trees, Kevin. But if they go in the path of between pitcher's mound and home plate, that's their fault.
Fair.
No
That is fair.
sympathy. You're right.
Opening day starter Jon Gray, future 20-game winner in 2022 for the Texas Rangers, joining us right now. So, John, when it comes to kind of the evolution of signs and the sign stealing, obviously, scandals that we've had in recent history, I was watching college baseball, and I saw a lot of the guys are using wristbands. So the catcher gives signs, and they look at the wristband. I know that in spring training, you guys are able to do something. Is there possibly like an earpiece that you guys are able to use, or a watch that you guys are able to use? Can you talk about where you think the evolution of taking signs from the catcher or using wristbands or earpieces in the major leagues are going?
Yeah, I think first of all, it's a shame it comes that far. It's a shame that we've had to do this, but I was able to use the earpiece in a bullpen session last week, and I really like it. I'm really all about it, and I think it just eliminates some of the extra stuff pitchers have to deal with now, and just really focus on pitching. That's what we do. So, I hope that we can kind of get that going. But I think it'd be a win for the pitchers, and it seems like the changes being made to baseball always seem to go in a hitter's favor. So, if we can get this one thing, it would be pretty nice.
John, can you tell us what is said in the earpiece? Is it just as simple as fastball away, or is there more detail to what you're getting told what to throw?
What I heard was mostly just pitch and location, fastball away, slider. But I didn't really care for the voice too much. I kind of want a new voice in there.
Who is the
something
voice?
That sounds a little meaner. Something that sounds like let's go, But
It's just a computer voice, John,
Siri?
or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like a male Siri or something. It's a little different, but I think we should get like Batman's voice or something else in there.
See, I like this. I love this.
It's a little sad.
All right, so on your phone then, do you have regular Siri or do you have Australian Siri? Because I've always used the Australian version of Siri, and that's kind of like my wife's like, well, I'm going to use the Australian man version of Siri. And I'm like, that's fine by me.
My wife uses Siri, but I don't use it. If it starts talking, I tell it to shut up. But that's about as much as I use it.
Yeah, sometimes they change the words too, and they're like, "Take your motor carriage," and I was like, "Oh man, this is too much for me."
I know, she's always eavesdropping in on my conversations. Just start talking.
So true.
So last week, Corey Majors got Mitch Garver a beer deal here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
I'm working on it.
What type of deal would you like Corey to get you when you become, the Texas Rangers opening day starter? What do you do beer? What are we doing here to get you a deal for?
I'm not much of a drinker. I'll have a beer every now and then, but I've always hammered chocolate milk. I think I'd be a chocolate milk guy.
Oh my gosh!
All right, well,
Stephenville is the milk capital of Texas, so I think we start there. That's where we're going to start.
All right.
Fortunately,
recovery.
Fortunately, our coverage reaches to Stephenville too, Kevin. So we're good.
We're going to put you to the test here, then, John. Would you rather us get you a chocolate milk sponsorship or your very own ghost hunting show?
What?
I'm gonna have to go with chocolate milk. This is too. I love it too much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Was there a time that the ghost hunting show would be your first priority, though?
Not really. I mean, I know it's kind of something that got puffed up over the years, but I've only gone to like 2 locations. I haven't really ever done like any kind of like formal investigations or anything like that. But it's something I've always paid attention to. I think it's interesting. I think all that unexplained is interesting. So, and it's something that's always grabbed my attention. But no, I mean, if someone asked me to go to something like that, I might do it. But I'm not into the whole wacko psychic stuff. I just think that it's a bit of a mess. But I still find the science of it very interesting.
Do you think that, well, based on the science that you've learned, do you think that ghosts are confined to houses, or do you think they can kind of go freely wherever they want?
Oh, I like this question. I think they're kind of free to go wherever they want. I feel like they stay where they choose. But then again, I don't know exactly what they are. I don't know if they're just people that have lived in the past, or if it's something else, anomaly. But I know it's I think God's in control of everything, and I think it has something to do with him. I think everything's tied to him. So
do you feel like John
that's
ghosts? Do you feel like ghosts move as fast as we move, or they move a lot faster because they're floating, or
like a wisp? Yeah.
yeah?
Like if I have a fan.
I don't know. Maybe there's different kinds. Maybe there's the ones that zip around. You know, you hear about like the shadow people and stuff like that, and they're pretty quick. But I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe there's this little wisp that you can suck up with a vacuum. I don't know.
Jon Gray joined us here. He's going to be your opening day starter for Rangers Nation out there.
Can you say that one more time?
He's
That
gonna be
sounds
your
amazing.
Opening day starter, Jon Gray, and we're already like, this is great. I'm having a great conversation with you right now, man. This is a weird situation. My son's middle name is Gray. And frequently I will ask my wife, is it E or A? And she's like, it's your son. You should know how his middle name is spelled. And I wonder how many times have you had to deal with that being Gray and it being spelled two different ways, and John being spelled multiple different ways too.
Right. Yeah. It gets confusing for how simple a name is. It can definitely get mixed up a lot. I've had to go about 50-50 both ways. EY, AY.
Do you look down on people that spell it EY?
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
I was offended maybe at one point in my life, but no, not anymore.
Well, John, I had 10 more like baseball questions, but this is way more fun.
Sorry about that, John.
No worries.
We'll have to.
This is awesome.
Our future interviews we'll have to set up, and you can just ask John Blake, hey, is this a baseball interview or is this a nonsense interview? And we'll go back and forth with our different types of interviews with you.
Awesome.
And ask Mitch about Garv sauce.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Appreciate it very much, good sir. And seriously, congratulations on getting the ball for opening day. We're all super excited.
Awesome. I appreciate having me on, guys.